You are on this very planet that Chukwokika Biama created to his glory. We welcome you to another explosive exposition of the very fraudulent contraption, the very diseased abomination that the British created for the enslavement of the children of light. We have come to destroy. We have come to render asunder. We have come to decimate that very tower of darkness, that very zoological republic, that very cesspit of iniquity and of evil. We have come that the blind may see. We have come that the deaf may hear. We have come that even those who through no fault of theirs, but as a result of having subjected themselves to a very disastrous educational system in the zoo, they have become stupid. Here we have come to enlighten and to educate, without any apologies to anybody, without mincing words, without fear before our enemies, determined and resolute, indestructible, and the precipitous collapse of the zoo is inevitable, absolutely inevitable. The devil may try all it can. Those who go before them to peddle falsehood, those who go to work for them, those who are the workers of darkness and of iniquity, we can assure them that we are resolute, we are determined, and there is nothing anybody can do to stop this very invade as many times as you like, kill as many people as you like, propagate falsehood after falsehood as many times as you like, buy up every media space in the zoo, go and connive with people in the diplomatic circles abroad, eyebrow consultancy firm in the world, select some diplomats in the zoo and bribe them. Select those you send to the key countries around the world. None of these things you're doing is capable of stopping us. It doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter what you write. It doesn't matter the type of chatter you have behind our backs. All those things you're doing is a complete and utter waste of time, because Biafra must come. There is nothing anybody can do about it. That is why we preach this gospel. That is why we propagate this very message of redemption. That is why Elohim said that Biafra will come. You will not fire a bullet, but Biafra will come. Because Chukwokika has gone before us. And you will hear what will happen to the zoo in weeks and months to come. This is 1 year, 2020. They will never, ever, ever in their lives forget. It does not matter what the enemy does, is irrelevant. Buy over Twitter, buy over Facebook, bribe the British High Commissioner to Nigeria, bribe the US Ambassador to Nigeria, department in America. But there is one thing I want all of us to understand this very evening. We are facing a very formidable array of enemies, both external and within. And we are going to overcome each and every one of these obstacles. That I can assure you, that they may know that the God we worship is an invisible God, not a God that was wrought by the hands of men. For we do not worship idol, and we can never ever worship idol. Is impossible. This very family, this IPOB, belongs to the Most High. And that is how it's going to be until Biafra comes and beyond, to eternity. This evening, I want to place it on record that our enemies are intensifying their attack against us from every corner. I am not saying this as lamentation or complaint. I am only trying to prepare our people for what is to come. You are being prepared for what is to come. The time has come to separate the chaff from the wheat itself. Our march is very, very near. The enemies are trembling, they are quaking, they are doing all they can to try to stop us. But they have failed very woefully, and they will continue to fail. But I want to tell you that we are getting attacks from everywhere all over the world. And very soon, they will buy over some of you. Some of you, they will buy some of you over. The spirit of Oba Biasika and Ifajuna are still in some of you. When the time comes, they will buy you over. I am not doing this program tonight to ask all of you to be strong. I am doing it to remind you, not that if they succeed in buying you over, you're not going to stop what we are doing. You can't. You cannot. Not in a trillion years. But I need you to appreciate one very simple fact. That at the end of this very race, everybody will testify that indeed Chukwukika Abiyama, the same God of Israel, of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the same God of Ehiri in Aguleri, the same God of Umweri, the same God of Ora-Eri, the same God of Owe-Eri, the same God of Arochukwu. Not to be nobody, the true God, one true God. You will know that indeed, not only is he omnipotent, that same God is the owner of this very agitation. No human being can stop it. We have enemies, and we need to be very, very careful, both within and without. Very, very careful. The next 2 weeks will be very pivotal. Next 2 weeks will be very, very important in the life, or should I say, in this very mission that we have embarked upon. The devil will do everything. And you are going to watch spectacularly how we are going to destroy and shame the enemy. That at the end, every glory and adoration will belong to God and not to man. Now let us go and tell you what is happening that some of you do not understand. I want those of you who are hardcore, those who were chosen before you were born. There were some people who were chosen before they were born to agitate for Biafra restoration. This is a message for you. Those who from their mother's womb they were born to do this very work. You must be very, very strong. Because Biafra will open the eyes of black people all over the world. Because Biafra will mean that blacks from America, blacks from the Caribbean, from Southern America, they will all flood into Africa. It will be like the time that Yeshua was born. Biafra is like a light, a beacon. They will follow it. They will say, let us go and see what is happening there. That is what these neo-colonialists do not want. They don't want Biafra to come. I am telling our people so they understand. The mountains, I didn't say one mountain, the mountains in front of us that we need to overcome. And for us to overcome it, we need to be very strong mentally, mental strength. Just like when you're doing anything in life, and it appears as if you are being buffeted from everywhere. That is the time that you no longer rely on willpower or your muscles. You go to your brain to endure and to persevere and to keep going until you overcome. That is the stage we are in right now. To make sure that our brain is in gear to confront everything the Janjaweed has to throw at us. We don't have money. Their budget is over $20 billion to fight us. They can bribe Facebook. They can buy them off.
They can do anything they like. They can come to some of you and bribe you off. They can promise you what you've never had before. They can give you maybe a house in Dubai. They can promise you a vehicle. They can tell you, oh, we'll make you vice president. They can promise you anything to make sure that you're like them. But this very IPOB, this very hardcore is not going to move. And I will tell you why we can't move.
We have tried to live in Nigeria designed by Great Britain and handed to us. We have found it difficult to live in that Nigeria. We have fought a civil war, killed so many people, and still we have the same problems reoccurring. Perhaps the time has come to revisit the very foundations of Nigeria.
Nigeria is an evil entity, very, very satanic. You want to change the narrative. It's IPOB, they're the aggressors. I saw some women, was it yesterday? Give them their Biafra. We don't want to die. Look at murderers calling other people murderers. Can you believe such nonsense? The Fulani leaders, you cannot win. You cannot defeat IPOB. You people were the ones that established many terror organizations in Nigeria in a bid to overwhelm the country and take over the territories for your Fulani people. IPOB became a stumbling block to that very janjaweed expansionist tendency. True or false? Am I lying? You were ruling Nigeria before, doing everything you like, controlling NMPC, controlling the seaport, customs, everywhere you ever. Now, finally, because you felt that you subdued everybody else. Now you can now march on with your foot soldiers into the east because you've taken over Yoruba land. Of course, I know that very well. You came and we said, no, you can't come into this land to take it. Come and do your business and go. You said no. Now, because we defeated Mietiala, you now brought in police and army with official uniform, official badge to come and kill people. And I also want to remind Twitter, because they're listening. Twitter, please. Do you know that in the Nigerian army and police, there are terrorists there? Are you aware that Nigeria actively recruited terrorists, killers and murderers and rapists, and gave them army and police uniforms? Are you aware of that? How can anybody, Yoruba journalists, how can you people in your infantile stupidity refer to Nigeria as having an army or Nigeria police? Or where are those terrorists that they conscripted into the Nigerian army and Nigerian police? Where are they? People without shame, where are they? I'm asking you. Fulani, you want to change the narrative? Of course not. They want to put the blame of insecurity in Nigeria on IPOB. Can you believe that? Can you believe these people? Can you believe them? Can you believe these people? And luckily, as God will have it, they are slaughtering themselves in the north. But IPOB securing the east are the ones to be blamed for the insecurity in the east. There is a clip I want everybody to play, please. Who opposed them opened his mouth and said, I invited the army to come into Olo. There was nothing happening. Fulani, who opposed them gave Fulani land in Olo to do Ruga, Fulani settlement. And we said no. We drove the Fulani murderers and terrorists away. Who opposed them now invited his friends, his masters from the north, to bring in their army and heavy machinery into Olu to kill us. That was how all these things started. All of you have forgotten. Black people in this UG, black, you have all forgotten the Genesis. The same way that all of you that are blaming Boko Haram is a terrorist group, Boko Haram, what they're doing. But when Nigerian police were busy killing their leader and killing everybody else, all of you were just there drinking Fradununu. or doing betting on Chelsea versus Man U, or Liverpool versus Man City. Nigeria army and police will go out and commit atrocity upon atrocity. All of you will be there, you keep quiet. Any day, those people out of anger rise up and retaliate. All of you baboons and monkeys will start writing rubbish. Do you know why? Because you have no conscience, you have no soul, you're a black person, you are the embodiment of evil. Is the truth. I don't care who bans whoever or whatever, I don't give a toss. I must preach the truth. Black people are wicked. By nature, very wicked people. That is why you forget the atrocities that your police and your army always commit. You forget. In a twinkle of an eye, you forget. Our army, our police. Now, listen to me very carefully, please. You are blaming ESN, whereas it is the same Fulani terrorists masquerading as headsmen that are responsible for orchestrating all the insecurity in and around Nigeria. Fulani, you have Boko Haram. Fulani, talking about insecurity in the east. Hey. Whereas 91 people were slaughtered yesterday. Yesterday, they were killed yesterday. You have the guts. You people have no shame. You have the guts to stand up and be talking about insecurity in the east. And you're a senator from Kebbi State or Kebbi, whatever they call it. And 91 of your constituents were slaughtered. You didn't see it. You are talking about east. Fulani, who formed Boko Haram. Fulani, who formed ISIS in West Africa province, ISWAP. Fulani, who formed Miyetti Allah. Fulani, who formed Ansar. Fulani, who formed these headsmen and bandits you claim are foreign. Fulani, who brought out murderers and killers and terrorists from prison and gave them military and police uniforms. It is you people. You have now spread them around the country, causing mayhem, abducting people from schools. These are the same place. Hi, these people. Fulani, you think everybody's as stupid as you are? You go, you kidnap students from their schools in the north, you get ransom, you buy more arms, you embolden yourselves. You have the guts to conduct a live press conference talking about insecurity in the East. Don't people have shame? Anyway, you don't. Who are the bandits, or should I say terrorists, taking hostages of school children and demanding ransom? Are they not Miyetti Allah, Miyetti, the chief negotiator? Who are the people destroying farms, raping and killing their victims daily around Nigeria? Fulani. Fulani. You know what? How they manage to convince some of you is what I find astonishing, despite the overwhelming evidence. How they green, white, green in front of you, but inside they are destroying you, but you don't know. Very, very sad indeed. It's very difficult to sound presidential or to sound statesman-like when you're discussing Nigeria, because the whole place is disgusting. Nigeria is disgusting. They never spoke the language that they're terrorists. Why don't you now come out and say the killing in Oyo State is bad? We are going to treat them in a language they understand. Why not? It's only in the East. And Yoruba journalists, they support this junk coming from these people. That is the reason why they come to your land and they massacre people. Because you support evil. Tinubu has to be president. People are jokers. That Biafrans are not in IDP camps today or refugee camps is because of the immense work that ESN is doing. And for record purposes, please, ESN is in the bushes and forests of Biafra land. We are not out on the street. All of you trying your best to link ESN with unknown gunmen, you're wasting your time. If you want to know how unknown gunmen were born, go and look at all the atrocities of the Nigerian army and police against young people in the East. You'll understand that. ESN is inside the bush, making it possible for you to sleep at night. ESN is not and will never be unknown gunmen. And without myself excusing the activities of these angry youths that have had their relatives murdered by the Nigerian state, it is the same Nigerian police and army that are complaining today that brought this brutality and lawlessness. And I'll ask them again, oh, what did those people do to you? Onisha, Emene in Enugu, have you all forgotten? Mbama River in Bayelsa. All the massacres you have carried out against young people in the East. What was their crime? What offense did they commit to warrant you to go to where they are praying and kill them? Nobody can answer that question. You think because you have money, you can bribe Reuters and bribe AFP and bribe Sky News and CNN and bribe the Yoruba media and all that rubbish. You silence us, you're mad, you are insane, you cannot do it. There is something called the internet. Even if you ban us here, we go somewhere else. It doesn't matter, our message will keep going. Our message will keep going. Nigeria will buy over every company in the world, and our message will still be passed down to the people that need it most. ESN is not unknown gunmen and can never be. But we know how unknown gunmen started. Every day you kill people and you go scot-free. Today they have gone to a Joffa's house. They have shot dead a young man there today. When his relatives rise up tomorrow, pick up arms and start killing police, you start talking rubbish. You'll be talking jazz from your stupid, stinking Zoom out. You'll be talking rubbish. Nobody has condemned the killing of a young man in Barrister Joffa's house last night around 2:30 a.m. In fact, this morning, early this morning. Have you written about him? Now, the family of that boy will be asking, what did he do wrong? Did he commit any crime? So his crime is that he's in Barrister Joffa's house and you killed him. Tomorrow, when his brother or sister will pick up arms and start fighting the police, all of
where people will go and defend the Biafra land by making sure that those who come to kill them enforce the disappearance of their brothers and neutralize, and they go and start attacking innocent people. Is that the kind of system you want to support? For how long?
No.
But this has been the modus operandi of those who call themselves military. When people who carry gun attack them, they don't attack those who carry gun. They go to women. They go to young girls, young boys of Biafra. And they start mass arrest, and those people they arrest may never come back. Is that the kind of system you want to support? Why don't they go after those who come to attack them with gun? Why?
Well, what you must know is that Nnamdi Kanu is being held hostage on behalf of the famed unity of Nigeria. That's what it's all about. It's as simple as that. If you mention his name in certain circles, they don't want to hear it because they feel like he threatens the real estate called Nigeria. And his Igbo makes it worse because Nigeria's DNA hates the Igbo for attempting, in the 60s and, towards the end of the 70s, to leave a country they said is no longer favorable to their existence. But I keep saying, and I will repeat here again, is there any Nigerian out there in their majority who has not mentally seceded from Nigeria? Not many. That's why people are living in droves. Each time you get on a plane leaving this country is full. Each time it's coming back, probably full too, but it is those who are coming back to pack their things that are coming back. That's the way I describe it. But the truth is that Nnamdi Kanu has been held hostage. He was abducted from Kenya, extraordinary rendition. The fact that his kidnapped from Kenya could not be explained shows that any judicial pronouncement or processes after that is null and void. You cannot go and kidnap somebody and bring them before a court. And the courts have made it very clear, even up to the Supreme Court, that he did not jump bail. It was the military that went to his house to kill people, and then he escaped. And now you have brought him back. You ought to respect and restore his bail. That's what I told his lawyers. Why are you applying for bail again? Because the Supreme Court made all the pronouncements except releasing him. And I think it was because they were afraid. And that's why I said he's a hostage to this country. And like you rightly said, there are other people who have made even more egregious pronouncements and fought and carried arms in this country. And you have not treated them the same way because they're not Nnamdi Kanu's, their name don't sound East. And I'm not here to fetish being able. But the reality is that they are not treated fairly. And Nnamdi Kanu is part of the reason why that is clear to everybody.
Right.
And by the way, I must also reveal here that there are some Igbo elites who are behind this. Whenever there's a crime of conspiracy against freedom fighters, there are people inside and outside who are working together.
ụfọdụ nọ n'ụzọ ije ha anaghị alọta ụlọ ọzọ nne na nna wee na-ata ahụhụ wee na-ata ikikere eze nwaanyị kunie ka ọ gaa ubi gaa rụọ ọrụ Fulani chiri ehi bata ebe ala gịnị n'iyi okwu ebepụ ya isi anyị bụ ka anyị kpọkwa onye nwe anyị n'ugwu Awụsa ahụ ejide anyị wee gbuo ihe ọbụla anyị mara aka n'ime ha sị na ka ha gaa n'ihu elekwa ọdụ ụgbọ mmiri n'igwe ọcha bụ ememiri agha nke dị na Kalaba otu aka ahụ anyị na-ala nsọ ebe Biafra bụ ndị kọstọm sokwenye anyị n'etiti anyị anọghị n'ime mmiri kama kọstọm juru ebe niile ha wee na-ata anyị ahụhụ anyị kwuo ekwesị kpọta anyị ka kpọchie anyị kwuo ekwesị kpọta anyị ka gbagbuo anyị
onye nwe anyị na Chineke na nke bi n'igwe ọ bụ ụzọ dị anya ka isi wepụ ndị iro anyị n'anya wee karịa ndị nke gị. Akwa anyị bụ ụmụ Chineke, akwa ọba aha anyị ka anyị na-aza, akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza ike Chukwu, akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza amara Chineke, akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza Chisom, akwa ọba anyị nwe na-aza Chizọba, nna nke dị nsọ, onye ime eluigwe dịka otu onye iro dị na anyị bụ ụmụ gị. Bịa ka iwe zọpụta anyị, bịa ka iwe napụta anyị n'aka ọjọọ ihe, bịa ka iwe lụọrọ anyị ọgụ, bịa ka iwe dịtuo ozu. Ọ bụ ọgụwa mgbe emilere Goliath, Chineke nna nke igwe wee memire Fero, sikwa otu a mee ka Fero bụ ọgụzọ n'ihu ụmụ ndị IPOB ka o wee taa akwụkwọ iguni ụtọ ọzọ. Ị ga na-edu anyị n'ụzọ niile nke ezi omume. Ọ bụla adịghị na anyị na-aga ndagwurugwu onyinye ọnwụ. Ọ bụ gụ nwa bụ ekegere eluigwe n'ụwa, onye ọbụla kere gị nweghị mmalite nweghị ọgwụgwụ, kama anyị onwe anyị bụ anọkwa ahụ ofu ụbọchị anyị ga-anwụ n'ezie, kama marakwa na okwu gị na-anọgide ruo mgbe ebighị ebi. Ọ bụ ya mere anyị ji were gị n'anya isi, anyị wee na-asị nna nke dị nsọ, bịa ka iwe gosi anyị Biafra na ndụ na-abụghị n'ọnwụ, bịa ka iwe mee ka ebe gị na amara gị wee kpuchiri anyị ka uwe, bịa ka iwe zọpụta ndị nke gị, bịa ka iwe mee ka Biafra wee bịa, ka anyị na-ewetụta na nsọpụrụ na ịja mma site n'aha gị onye bụ Chukwu nke abịa ama.
Ise, welcome, Biafrans. I welcome each and every one of you, lovers of freedom, Biafrans, friends of Biafra. Welcome each and every one of you today here on this platform, IPOB Western Cape Media TV. I welcome you in the name of Chukwu Okike Abiyama Premi Henine, to whom all the glory and honor shall be given. Thank you for joining me this evening on this platform. As always, we appreciate your presence, and we will never take your presence for granted. So we thank you as we welcome you this evening. As we welcome you, lovers of freedom, Biafrans, I want you to remember to welcome others. Welcome your friends, your family, your neighbors, and all lovers of freedom that reside within you. I thank you, lovers of freedom, and I want you to remember to share this program. We remind you always to share our program because that is the only way that other people who does not know about our existence may know. So we encourage you, Biafrans, to always make it as a duty sharing our program before you settle down to listen to us. First thing first, share our program, like our program, comment on our program. These are the three things that we need you to do anytime you join us in programs like this. So we encourage you to continue to share, and we want to remind you that we are live this evening in all our social media platforms. We are live on our Facebook page, IPOB Western Cape Media TV. We are also live on our YouTube channels, IPOB Western Cape Media TV. We are also live on our X, formerly Twitter, handle, which is IPOB Western Cape Media TV. We are live on all these platforms. It is your duty to make a choice where you want to relax and follow us this evening. Welcome both enemies of Biafra. Everybody is welcome in this platform. Here, we are not discriminatory. We are open for criticism.
We allow you to express your feelings, whatever you think that you want to say or contribute to our program. Always remember to do it. And I want to inform you also, or rather to remind you this evening, that our lines are open for you to call in as we are hosting this live program. We have our WhatsApp number on the screen. You can call us and make a contribution if you so desire. This is our program. It is for every one of us, and everybody's contribution and opinion are welcome. So we ask you to call in anytime that you think you have something to contribute to our ongoing program. So keep watching on the screen. You will see our phone number in which you can use to contact us and make a contribution. So I thank you for joining this evening, and I welcome you in this wonderful platform. And I want you to know that here we depend on common sense. We do not engage in propaganda. We do not engage in name callings. We do not engage in frivolities. We do not engage in things that does not in any form or shape contribute or push this struggle forward. We are here and we mean business. We mean business. That is why we are here. We are not here to attack any individual specifically. We are not here to constitute nuisance. We are here to pray on common sense. Common sense is not common, as they will say. But here we are doing that. We are harvesting on that common sense to bring to you the reality on ground. Here we do not follow clouds. Most times we stand alone. The reason we stand alone is because when you follow clouds, you are bound to miss it. You have to stand alone, look at things critically before you could be able to find out which way or which position to take. That is what we are here to do. That is why we do not follow clouds. We do not join other people without critically looking at what we want to engage our time and attention into. So I thank you for joining this evening, and I want you to know that as always we are bringing you news and analysis that has to do with this struggle. We have so many things in stock for you. All you need to do is sit back, relax, and follow us patiently. At the end of this program, you'll be grateful that you join us, because we are bringing you current news and the meaningful ones for that matter. If you follow event, if you were here when I played the voice of Maazin Nnamdi Kanu, he was trying to explain to us that the enemies, they are planning, and this plan has been there. It has been there all this long against IPOB, against the freedom fighters. That is why they want to make everything possible to hang on the shoulders of IPOB, the insecurity that is going on in Nigeria and Southeast in particular. And we said, no, we in this platform, IPOB Western Cape Media TV, said, no, we are not going to be part and parcel of those who will agree that those fighting for their freedom are criminals. We are not going to agree that what we are doing is criminality. We are simply agitating for freedom. And in that regard, we are also defending ourselves, because it is only those that are alive that can defend themselves. Dead people could not defend themselves. It is only the living who can defend him or herself. That is what we are doing in this struggle. We say that those who have come to kill us, will not come and do that and go scot-free. And we are not going to continue folding our hands while our hairs are falling off our shoulder. We will not give our enemies our cheeks to slap us at will. Because the next thing he will do after slapping us without us reacting is to cut off our head. We said not anymore. And that is why this propaganda, this systematic demonization of IPOB Biafrans at large are ongoing. And that is why we are here this evening to open your eyes for you to understand that we are freedom fighters. Remember, we are freedom fighters. We are not criminals. We do not engage in criminal activities. And we are not going to take it easy with anybody who will try to draw us into that or paint us or our activities as being criminal activities. No. We are simply fighting for our survival. We are fighting for our survival. So I welcome you this evening. And I want you to know that this is IPOB Western Cape Media TV. That here we speak nothing but the truth. We are without fear or favor. We are fearless before our enemies. We are not here to represent any individual, but to represent and to defend our fatherland, Biafra. Because for us, it is Biafra today, tomorrow, and forever. If you are offended by our resolve, we have no apologies for that. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra IPOB worldwide, and his position is incontestable. IPOB is here to restore Biafra, and we are not going to be swayed until Biafra is restored. Welcome to IPOB Western Cape Media TV, saying it the way it is. Here, truth is our hallmark. And I want to also remind you that we are fearless before our enemies. I bring you greetings, fellow Biafrans, lovers of freedom all over the world, you that is watching me this evening. I bring greetings to you from my coordinator, Mazi Nnamdi. Mazi Nnamdi is the IPOB Western Cape Zone Coordinator. He is representative of this zone. He is, or rather was appointed by our leader, Onyendu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We have no other leader. Mazi Nnamdi is working day and night, making sure that this zone does not die. He has given in all he had, his money, his time, his sweat, and he is willing to give more. So we are standing behind him, and we encourage him to continue. And I want to remind you, Biafrans, that if there is anybody who is parading himself as IPOB Western Cape representative, disregard that person. We have one IPOB Western Cape representative in the person of Mazi Nnamdi, as I have stated earlier. Any other person parading himself as IPOB Western Cape representative is either a criminal, a scammer, and a Confucianist, a lawbreaker. Because in IPOB Constitution, we have but one representative of every zone, not two. So I want you to have that in mind. Don't forget, I made it as a duty to remind you that we have imposters. We have those who impose themselves to people, or who are trying to pose themselves to us here in the Western Cape, and we have rejected them because we said that IPOB Code of Conduct is supreme overall. So let that bear that in mind, Also, I bring greetings to you from the coordinators we have in this zone. All of them, we are all together, fighting, doing everything possible to make sure that we support the restoration of Biafra and make sure that we do our possible best to continue to push this struggle further. And also, I bring you greetings from the executive of IPOB Western Cape Zone. Irrespective, men are working assiduously day and night, making sure that Biafra is restored. Men are contributing their money, their time, and otherwise to make sure that the IPOB Western Cape Zone did not die. So I thank each and every one of them, and I encourage each and every one of them to continue. That is why I am proud of this zone. I'm proud of every one of us. I can never wish for more. I can never wish for more. And I want you to understand that this platform is totally is the property of IPOB Western Cape Zone. It is owned, sponsored by IPOB Western Cape Zone. This is the only zonal platform Banon. And I want you to applaud us because it is not easy. It is not easy. It has never been easy. But we shall continue to push because it is not easy to gain freedom. So I want you all to also know that here in this zone, we cannot do without IPOB Code of Conduct. IPOB Code of Conduct is the compass. Without IPOB Code of Conduct, there will not be orderliness. The only reason there is orderliness in this struggle is because of IPOB Code of Conduct. And any individual who tells you to disregard IPOB Code of Conduct is an enemy of this struggle. I want you to bear that in mind. You cannot belong to IPOB without obeying and working in accordance with IPOB Code of Conduct. IPOB Code of Conduct is the only documents that is legally binding to every member of this struggle. So I want you to know that it is very, very necessary that you as a member must equip yourself as we here in this zone are doing. That is why we are undefeatable. That is why nobody can break us. That is why nobody can bring confusion in our midst. That is why we have defeated every temptations, trials that came our way, and nobody can come to try anything funny in this zone just because we have IPOB Code of Conduct as our weapon. So I encourage you to go and look for that documents and study it so you know your stand in this family. That is very important. So I welcome you to this program this evening. My name, I am Mazi Onyebuchi, and I am your host. By the special grace of Chukwu Okike Abiyama Premihenine, I am the Parklands Unit Coordinator. Yes. So I welcome you this evening. And I say to you, lovers of freedom, comrades, Biafrans, friends of Biafran, and both enemies of Biafra, I say to you, good morning, afternoon, good evening, good night. To some of you, depends where you are watching this evening, I say to you, welcome. Now, we came this evening because it is necessary that we come. Very, very necessary. And if you look at our topic this evening, it says it all. So look at our topic, and then you can be able to understand where we are going. It says, up in their sleeves. Don't let them succeed. Who are they? The Nigerian people, those who have directly or indirectly involved in trying to subdue or in trying to criminalize the Biafran struggle. And we are here to tell you, as a Biafran, as IPOB, so you don't mistakenly fall into their trap, because it is a trap professionally set so that they will keep killing us and tagging us criminals. The last program I hosted here, I was able to make a very straight analysis of how they have been buying our people since 2007, starting from Mastop until today. They have never stopped buying our people. They always came, and whenever they do that and buy our people in numbers, the next thing you will hear in the news is that criminals have been neutralized. And nobody is making any noise about it, because every one of them ignorantly believe that it is criminal to ask for your freedom. They believe that it is criminal to be identified as IPOB. They also believe and agreed that it is criminal for you, for me, to defend ourselves. And I don't know what is criminal when someone comes to attack you and you defended yourself. Now, if you succeeded in overpowering him who came to attack you, the next thing you will hear is that you are a criminal. But if the person succeeded in neutralizing you, the news shall be he has neutralized and defeated a criminal. And those ignorant fellows who are in the struggle will go ahead agreeing, cheering, and applauding the enemies. It is gallantry for them to neutralize you, then it is criminal for you to defend yourself. And you do not allow somebody to come to you, to attack you, even according to the Bible, God. When the devil attempted to dethrone him, he had to cast him out in self-defense. And if he, who created all things, could apply the tactics of self-defense, what about you, his creator? His creature, who has nothing but a very limited time to live and express yourself in this earth. So we are here to do what? To stabilize the idea that it is not criminal at all. There is nothing criminal in what is happening or what the freedom fighters are doing today. The tactics they have adopted, which is tactics of defense, is not a criminal activity, and it can never be criminal. Anybody you see who calls or addresses them as criminals himself is a real criminal. That is what I came this evening to do, to let you know that that message the other time continues. you hear when I played series of videos how since 27 our people have been suffering in all manner of deaths, untimely deaths in the hands of the terrorists in uniform. You were here when the Nigerian government will go capture a terrorist, a Fulani terrorist, a Boko Haram, after fighting, maybe before they could be able to capture him, he would have succeeded in neutralizing over 10 or 15 soldiers single-handedly. Now, the same soldiers, the colleagues of the same dead soldiers, will not succeeded in capturing him. After capturing him, instead of them to take him to where he should spend the rest of his life in isolation, they would take him to where they said they are going to rehabilitate him. After that, they will now bring him back into the same security circle or settings and make him either a soldier, a police, or give him one post in government, where he will now have legal right to carry out his terrorist attacks in government uniform. And you know what they do? This set of people, they end up sending them, majority of them has been sent to Biafra land. Not any reason, it's not because in Biafra, we are not terrorists. The only reason they sent these people to our land is to come and stop the freedom fighters from expressing their God-given right to freedom. It's not because we are Boko Haram. It's not because we are herdsmen. It's not because we are going house to house buying people. It's not because we are stopping our people from going to farm. It's not because we are raping. It's not because we are doing anything to them. The only reason they sent their terrorists in uniform into our land is to come and stop the activities of the freedom fighters. And when they came, the next thing they do is to artificially create insecurity in our land. What do I mean by artificially? They will not go and start doing things. Then when they go and do things, they will come out and say, oh, it is the freedom fighters. When then they will not go buy some of our politicians and our governors and all that stuff who will stand by them. Then that will give them the leverage to go and start destroying, burning the properties of our people, doing all manner of damages in our land. Now, at the end of the day, they will still come to buy the freedom fighters themselves. And when they do that, what they say is that, oh, we have succeeded in neutralizing those people who committed the jailbreak, the other day. We succeeded in neutralizing the people who went to kidnap people the other day. These are the stories you'll be hearing from these people. And you know the most painful thing? The most painful part of it is that those people in our land who are supposed to know better will agree with them. They will agree with them. They will be agreeing with them. So, that is it. So, what I'm saying this evening, I want to show you something, but before I go there, if you remember, I want to remind us that in the next few days, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be appearing again, as usual, in court. And since the last court, a lot of things has happened, and so many things are still happening. And the legal team of our leader is busy heaping pressure on the Nigerian government and Nigerian judiciary to at least do the right thing for once. And we believe that very soon, probably we're still hearing positive news. But remember that in a few days' time, Mazi Mekano will be appearing in court. We need to continue to believe and pray that Chukwu Okike Abiama takes control of the situation at hand, because where we are now, it is totally in the hands of Chukwu Okike Abiama, because we have done everything humanly possible to see that the Nigerian government follow the right stuff, but they are not willing. They are adamant. So, in a few days' time, Mazi Mekano will be coming in court. Let us continue to hope that things will take a new turn on that day. And let us continue also to agree and pray that all these fireworks the Mazi Mekano's Lego team are putting in will somehow bear fruits. You know, this evening there was a break, that Mazi Mekano, you know, the last time Mazi Mekano appeared in court, the court gave a new directive to DSS, which they failed to carry out as usual, as expected, because we know that DSS are not alone. DSS is Nigerian government. Nigerian government is DSS. Both of them are one. So, what you see DOS DG, Director General, doing is directly coming from the table of Tinubu, but it breaks someone's heart that Tinubu, in his foolishness, have decided as a Yariba man to inherit the enemies of his predecessor, late Muhammadu Buhari. And if you are a wise person, if Tinubu, President Tinubu, or whatever his name is a wise man, he would know that it is not good, it is not wise, it is not a wise decision to inherit other people's enemies or other people's battles. So many people have called for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So many notable individuals. So many. I can't start naming them. So many governments of the world. So many organizations, politicians, both international and local politicians, have come out to condemn the continuous incarceration of Onyendu, and so many of them have called Nigerian government to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. What you should be asking yourself is, amongst all these politicians and all these organizations and all these government of the world who has come out to call, has United Nations Kingdom, Britain, ever called for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, their own citizen? After 3 years, British government have never come out to call for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, at least, even if it is for formality's sake. British government is shameless. They are evil. I'm telling you. So now, in the process of time, so many people, excuse me, have come out to call for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and to condemn the kidnapping of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But all fell on deaf ears. Tinubu as a Yariba, as one who came from an ethnic nationality that mortally hates Ndibo, he remained adamant. He has flouted all the court's orders, both the ones from the high courts, both the ones from the Supreme Court, both the ones from the Appeal Court and Supreme Court. Tinubu have decided to flout all the orders. Tinubu has no respect for the judiciary. Tinubu does not have any respect for the rule of law. Tinubu does not respect the Nigerian constitution. Hence, he has displayed all this errant, now what's it called? Refusal to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. DSS DG is not working alone. He is taking order from his superior. Tinubu is the one telling the DG, which is BG, not to obey or to follow any court rulings. That what he should be doing is to do what he already told him to do. Frustrate Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, persecute Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, make sure that he does not breathe. This directive came through Buhari to Tinubu. Buhari told Tinubu, this is what I've been doing. This is the method I have been using to be able to subdue and to suppress Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Tinubu inherited it from who? From Buhari. Buhari was the one who told Tinubu, this east, flood it with military. By them, nobody talks. In fact, there are people who will come out to support you today. Are you still confused? Don't you know that even our people, those in the struggle, are supporting the continuous kidnap, disappearances, and continuous subjugation of our people in our own land, in Biafra land? Our people will come out to tell you that those people, innocent young men and women, are criminals. Today, our people in our own land, who's supposed to be defending the people who are fighting for their freedom, you know it that this thing you see today did not start today. While Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was there, the agenda is on. The agenda to criminalize and to hang insecurity on the shoulder of IPOB so that there will be reason to buy them. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said it very, very loud. Now, let me show you again. Let me play it again. So you hear where Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said it. So you don't get confused when we are telling you that all these things are all a very systematic plans to make it look as if fighting for freedom is criminal, or trying to defend yourselves from being killed is criminality. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu made it very, very clear that it is not and will never be that unknown government is not and will never be IPOB. But notwithstanding, they are on a righteous path. Now listen to what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has to say about what you are witnessing today.
Nigeria is an evil entity, very, very satanic. You want to change the narrative. It's IPOB, they're the aggressors. I saw some women, was it yesterday? Give them their Biafra. We don't want to die. Look at murderers calling other people murderers. Can you believe such nonsense? The Fulani leaders, you cannot win. You cannot defeat IPOB. You people were the ones that established many terror organizations in Nigeria in a bid to overwhelm the country and take over the territories for your Fulani people. IPOB became a stumbling block to that very janjaweed expansionist tendency. True or false? Am I lying? You were ruling Nigeria before, doing everything you like, controlling NMPC, controlling the seaport, customs, everywhere you ever. Now, finally, because you felt that you subdued everybody else, now you can now march on with your foot soldiers into the east, because you've taken over Yoruba land. Of course, I know that very well. You came and we said, no, you can't come into this land to take it. Come and do your business and go. You said no. Now, because we defeated Mietiala, you now brought in police and army with official uniform, official badge to come and kill people. And I also want to remind Twitter, because they're listening. Twitter, please. Do you know that in the Nigerian army and police, there are terrorists there? Are you aware that Nigeria actively recruited terrorists, killers and murderers and rapists, and gave them army and police uniforms? Are you aware of that? How can anybody, Yoruba journalists, how can you people in your infantile stupidity refer to Nigeria as having an army or Nigeria police? Or where are those terrorists that they conscripted into the Nigerian army and Nigerian police? Where are they? People without shame, where are they? I'm asking you. Fulani, you want to change the narrative? Of course not. They want to put the blame of insecurity in Nigeria on IPOB. Can you believe that? Can you believe these people? Can you believe them? Can you believe these people? And luckily, as God will have it, they are slaughtering themselves in the north. But IPOB securing the east are the ones to be blamed for the insecurity in the east. There is a clip I want everybody to play, please. Who opposed them opened his mouth and said, I invited the army to come into Olo. There was nothing happening. Fulani, who opposed them gave Fulani land in Olo to do Ruga, Fulani settlement. And we said no. We drove the Fulani murderers and terrorists away. Who opposed them now invited his friends, his masters from the north, to bring in their army and heavy machine.
Now, you heard him perfectly. And this thing, Mazen Kanu said it years ago. Then, some of you watching me today were live on this program listening, but you failed to grasp what he said. Some of you were still asleep. Some of you were being carried away by the way that Mazen Kanu talks. Some of you were only worshiping a cult hero. You were seeing Mazen Kanu not as a freedom fighter, but as an entertainer. Some of you does not understand the seriousness behind the revelation of Mazen Kanu. Today, some of you fell because you did not know that this is a systematic plan to rope IPOB into this insecurity going on in Nigeria. And let me tell you something. Every day in Nigeria, in northern Nigeria, soldiers, police force are being neutralized, not by IPOB, but by terrorists, ISWAP, Boko Haram, Fulani herdsmen, and their likes. You never heard it. You will never hear it. They will report it on low key. When they want to report it, they will sneak it in. And before you know it, nobody will even know that such thing happened. But it is happening on daily basis. Nigerian security settings and apparatus, they have been attacked, neutralized, wounded on a daily basis. And the North are still standing intact. There is no raid. There is no going to this community and packing all the young men. There is no ethnic cleansing. There is no disappearances. They don't do all these things. Their politicians will never come on the pages of newspaper to condemn and call those people names. Their brothers, those in the same community, will not even speak. But let it happen in the East. I mean, in Biafra land, the whole country will turn upside down. The media will agog with fire. The news will be trending up and down. If you do not know, you will think that a whole battalion of soldiers has been neutralized. But in Northeast, Northwest, North Central, the Nigerian security are being dislodged on a daily basis, and no single media hype about it. It's a conspiracy. Don't you know that in the north, that the Fulani herdsmen, ISWA terrorists, are gathering in open places, in communities where they, you know that in the northern Nigeria, there are places that these terrorists are in charge. I'm talking about local government. There is no government presence at all. They have succeeded in chasing away all the Nigerian military and police. And they are the ones in charge of the security. The communities are paying them tax. You dare not go to farm without paying your own tax. If you do, your head will roll in the same Nigeria. But all of them are in the East. All of them are in Biafra land. Doing things that they could not do in the North. And our people are ignorantly agreeing, and by so doing, giving them the green light to go on and destroy their youth. Whereas in the North, bandits have taken over local governments, taking tasks from farmers, running the activities, being the ones in charge of security in the Northeast and North Central. You will not hear it. You will not hear any of their senators standing on the red chamber condemning those herdsmen. You never hear any. You never hear any of their sons coming on BBC, just like that toad, that owl, that what is it called? Cubana chief priest did. Cubana chief priest had the temerity to come on the news on BBC and talk about how insecure Southeast are. The same Southeast that he said is insecure, just yesterday, over 30,000 people gathered from all parts of Nigeria in Enugu to watch Enyimba versus Rangers. The toad, when I mean the toad, I mean the Cubana chief priest told you there was no security, that East is not safe for business. Hence, he has relocated to Lagos. He did not tell you the reason why he is relocating. He has soiled his hands. He has romanced with Hope Uzodimma. He has become a house nigger for Hope Uzodimma. Through him, a lot of youths has been neutralized, sent to prison, disappeared. Now he is no more. He's no more relaxed. He is afraid of his life. Now he had to go. Instead of him to go quietly, he had to demonize the whole East by saying that it is not safe for business anymore. That is why he is leaving. Now, I want to read a news. Or rather, before I go on, let me bring something to you in the screen. This, can you see the screen? Can you see? This is what? This is Senator Shehu Sani. Shehu Sani released this tweets on 7th of March, 3 days ago. He wrote, "The killing of 7 policemen and other civilians in Zamfara is condemnable. The atrocities of these criminals must not go unpunished. I believe we will triumph over terror, but it's sad that the killing of our security agents only gets a louder outrage when it happens in the southeast." Did you hear it? Did you hear it? He said, the killing of 7 policemen and other civilians in Zamfara state is condemnable. The atrocities of these criminals must not go unpunished. I believe we will triumph over terror, but it's sad that the killing of our security agents only gets a louder outrage when it happens in the southeast. I didn't say it. I didn't say it. Sani said, this news is not coming from any sons of Igbo land. Somebody wrote in the reply section, he said, Uche Ndubishi wrote, "Where is the national outrage and indiscriminate killings and arrests of innocent civilians in Zamfara? Where is the useless Nigerian military at HQ Nigeria Army to dictate to the state of Zamfara that the criminals, perpetrators are drawn from the people as they stated in the case of Southeast?" Now, this is what Sani wrote. Shehu Sani wrote it. 7 policemen were died in Zamfara state, and civilians too. Nobody, you didn't hear it anywhere. Arise TV didn't say it. They didn't air it. Channel TV didn't air it. NTA didn't air it. And other channels, they didn't air it. Now, some newspapers like Sahara reported it, but it was beaten down almost immediately. Nobody heard it. There was no northern son except this man raised an eyebrow. No politicians, current serving politicians, said anything about it. But let it happen in the East. All the senators who are not representing us but themselves, you see all of them on the media condemning it. You will see even the freedom fighters themselves, because they want to create a narrative that it is not them but the other people. And they don't know that when that bullet is shot inside the market, it may fall even on their own mother's or father's head. It is an adage of Igbo that said, onye na-atụ okwute n'ime afịa. Okwute a nwere ike na daa n'isi nne ya ma ọ bụ n'isi nna ya. You are not saying, oh, it is not me. You are saying, no, it is not me, but my brother. You forgot that the same enemy your brother is battling is the same enemy you two are battling. He doesn't care. All he needed was the validation. If you validate it and agree with him that it is one of you that committed this, and that one of you are doing this, then you are finished. From the news, we heard that over 300 innocent young men and women have paid with their lives. Nobody's talking about it. All the people that shared the nonsense, all the people that said, oh, it is those criminals, those freedom fighters, all of them are nowhere to report it anymore. They are now silent. Nobody's talking about it anymore. Nobody's talking about it. Now, let me read another news breaking this evening. So you understand what we are talking about. Today, this one happens today. This news broke today by Punch, 10th June 2024. This news broke this evening before I even came online. The news broke. 2 soldiers have been hospitalized after bandits operating in Tegina Rafi local government area of Niger State shot and wounded them at their military base. Rafi is one of the hotspot local government areas in the state where bandits has been terrorizing residents and making it impossible for the farmers to engage in their vocation. The incident was said to have occurred in the early hours of Monday during a gun duel between the soldiers and the bandits. Meanwhile, one of the bandits' leaders was by in the gun duel. Punch Online learned that the bandits were attempting to cross to Mashegu and the Wushishi local government area of the state to rosto cattle when they encountered the soldiers. The chairman of Rafi local government area, Ayuba Kataku, confirmed the incident in a telephone chat with our correspondent. Kataku said the 2 shot soldiers were being treated at the IBB Specialist Hospital, Mina. He added that the military, police, and vigilantes who are ensuring peace and security of lives and properties in the state deserved to be commended. It happened in my domain. The 2 soldiers have been taken to the hospitals, specialist hospitals, where they are responding to treatment. The military, police, and vigilantes are trying their best to ensure peace and security of lives and property in the state, and they deserve to be commended. Kataku decried the continuous attack on security operative and called for patience. Did you hear it? Did you hear? Kataku decried the continuous attack on security operatives and called for patience. When it happened on them, on their side, patience is required. But when it happened in the southeast, you hear the military talking tough. You will hear even the governors, the politicians talking tough. How they are going to fish out the criminals within today and tomorrow. How they are going to do this, do that. The next minute, the whole street will turn upside down. They will be picking all the young, able-bodied men. And do you know why they are picking up all the able-bodied young men in our land? They knew that something great is coming. So they want to make sure that they subdue and reduce our numbers, so we may not have the desired numbers to stand the crisis that is coming. When it happened in the north, patience will become a virtue. Patience will become a virtue when it is happening outside the southeast. But when it happened in the east, in eastern Nigeria, spontaneous reply. There will be spontaneous action. There will be spontaneous arrest, mass arrest. There will be spontaneous retaliation. They will lose all the patience because it happened in the east. And some of our people, those who are supposed to call them to order, will rather give them the go-ahead and eliminate those they can eliminate. Now, let me read another news again to you, coming from the same northern Nigeria. This one came from Daily Trust. Daily Trust wrote, this news broke also today. Communities in Giwa local government area of Kaduna State. This is Kaduna, no more, not Zamfara. Remember, I have read Zamfara, news coming from Zamfara, through Sani. I've read another one from Niger State. Now, the one I'm reading is from, what's it called? Kaduna. For you to know that all the northern states are terrorist ridden. They are filled with terrorists. And it will interest you to know that the amount of soldiers in the north is nothing to compare with the number of soldiers in Biafra, that small landmass where that is peaceful. All they do is try to provoke the freedom fighters. Buy them. And after buying them, they will tag them criminals. And nobody will talk. But immediately the freedom fighters retaliate. The next thing you hear is mass condemnation. The whole nation will rise up. Everybody will remember that they know how to write English grammar. Some people will remember that they know how to give grand press release. Some will remember, oh, I can speak in, a lot of things. Sani Shehu said it. After 7 policemen and civilians were by no media condemnation. Nobody talked about it. If it were in the southeast, a whole community and the entire state will pay for it. Now listen, let me read. Communities in Giwa local government area of Kaduna State under the auspices of Kaya Descendants Community Development Association have petitioned the local government chairman over frequent bandit activities in the area. This is coming as farmers were asked by the bandits to pay levies before embarking on farming activities this season in Nigeria, in Kaduna. So don't think it's happening in desert. A letter dated 28 May 2024, signed by the association's chairman Alhaji Ibrahim Banarabe Musa, sought the audience of the local government chairman to brief him on the prolonged attack on the villagers by bandits. The data made available to journalists in Zaria on Monday reads partly: the issues of famine in Kaya and surroundings is seriously facing great challenges and obstacles where certain conditions have been given by the bandits for every farmer to meet, to be allowed to farm. Every farmer has to pay tax to the bandits before farming, and by the middle of farming season, the farmers are being chased away from their farmland or even harassed and kidnapped even after paying the tax. Did you hear that? This is happening in Nigeria, where they have resources, where the military, the police have enough resources to go about checkmating the activities of these terrorists, of these herdsmen. But instead of them to do that, they will rather spend or rather exhaust that same resources in a peaceful, trying to create and manufacture non-existing insecurity in southeast Nigeria, so that they could be able to carry out their evil plans against the people of Biafra. While they are busy doing that, back home when they were coming, the terrorists are taking a very strong positions, subduing and subjugating their own people. The amount of force used in the southeast against the freedom fighters, if half of it is used in efforts to stop the activities of these terrorist herdsmen and bandits, Boko Haram and Aswad, these things will be totally eradicated in the north. But you know why they will never do it? The reason they will never do it because it is their plan. They want to have a state, an Islamic state. They want to have a state where they will be ruled and governed by Islamic Sharia law. Outside the laws of Nigeria, it is not that they don't know what to do. They know what to do, but they will not go against because they are all together in it. But it's unfortunate that those farmers are the ones using as a sacrificial lambs, to actualize this dream of total Islamization of Nigeria, or rather northern Nigeria. Because these communities, most of them are Christians. Most of them are Christians. So this terror you see they are using is to make sure that they either chase them away or buy them, or force them to embrace Islam. These are plans they have in motion, and they are actualizing it. So don't be surprised when we say, why are they in the East trying to stop the agitation for freedom instead of them to be in the North trying to save life? Now we'll continue reading. The group also complained that the situation was the same during harvest season, where bandits burn the yielded crops without remorse. After collecting the task, they allow them to cultivate, then allow the crops to grow. At a certain stage, they will stop them from going to the farm. Now they will set the crops on fire. The ones that their cows could not destroy, they will use fire to destroy it. This is the atrocities of the terrorists in northern Nigeria. And the Nigerian state is busy wasting their time trying to quell the agitation, knowing fully well that you cannot stop the ideology that its time has come. Biafra is an ideology, and the time has come. You can never stop it. It does not matter the force. It does not matter the atrocities you commit. It does not matter the fear. It does not matter the terror tactics you may decide to use. The truth is that you cannot stop it. So why waste time in things you know you cannot stop? While you are busy doing that, your brothers, the terrorist brothers you have, are busy getting themselves strategized in your land. And by the time you finish, just like Mazin and Kanu said, there will be no land for you to go back. That is a promise. That is a prophecy. And it's coming to pass. Now we shall continue. Our families are facing dangerous distractions in the course of daily activities in the area. Our children are not going to school for fear of being kidnapped. Do you hear that? In the southeast, that they are trying to tell you, they are trying to paint insecurity for you. Have you heard that our children are afraid to go to school because they are scared of being kidnapped? In the entire southeast and south-south, as they call it. Have you heard that people are scared to go to school because of insecurity? Have you heard it? Have you heard that our people dropped out of school because they are scared going to school? Where is the insecurity? The insecurity is only in the media. The insecurity is only in the media. But on ground, there is nothing like that. Things go on the way they should. The only thing that happens is that 1 or 2 times, you may see the terrorists that infiltrated our land carry out one kidnapping or the other. But when you talk about insecurity, our land is the safest in the entire East, in the entire Nigeria. Even Yoruba land, you see them, they are beating it down, trying to cover it. A lot happening there. You hear it. Their children does not go to school anymore in the north. But the whole Fulani people are shouting, oh, insecurity in South, insecurity in South, insecurity in South, insecurity in South. Because of the agitators. I will read. It's in view of the foregoing, we crave the indulgence of the chairman of Giwa local government and other top officials at the state and national levels to institute investigation in order to bring to an end the incessant harassment and attacks on our community, the letter added. This is just part of the letter, not completely what is the experience was not tabled, but only parts of what the petition said. This thing I read for you is what is happening on a daily basis. Not only this is not happening only in Kaduna State. Same way it is happening in Borno, in Katsina, in Zamfara, in what's it called? In Niger State, and so many other places in the northern Nigeria. This thing, people are paying, citizens of Nigeria are paying tax to bandits, to terrorists, to Boko Haram, to ISWAP. Now, let me read another one for you. Let me read another one for you. Because they think that all of us in Biafra land are jokes. They think that all of us are being deceived into believing that Southeast is worst hit by insecurity. But the truth is that Southeast is one of the most peaceful places in the Southeast. The only thing that happens in the Southeast is the agitation. And the agitation, the reason why it is going the way it is going, because the Nigerian government is using force to try to subdue the agitators. If the Nigerian government were not applying this force, that they are following things the way they should, nobody would have talked about Southeast and insecurity. ES10 is there fighting in the bushes in order for them to stop the encroachment of the terrorists, and they are successful about it. So now, this news says ISWAP terror group holds public meeting with Borno residents to recruit new members, stresses plan to have separate Islamic country. Did I read this before I told you their plans? I told you that the same thing that the Kaduna communities are crying is something that is happening in all the northern Nigeria. Terrorists have taken over communities, local governments in charge. When I mean in charge, they are in charge. There is no Nigerian government presence in any of these communities. It is wholly and completely in the hands of the terrorists, either ISWAP, Boko Haram, Fulani bandits, and other stuff. They move about without harassment. They are the one who goes to look for Nigerian soldiers wherever they are to attack. Just like I read, you saw that they went to Nigerian soldiers' barracks to attack them in their barracks. So Nigerian soldiers does not have the boss to go looking for these people. These people are the ones who go looking for the Nigerian military to attack. But in our land, you see them in our villages, jumping up and down like frog, burning down the houses, businesses, ritualizing our young men and women, kidnapping our women, raping them. That is it. That is their duty now. But when it comes to the north, where Fulanis, terrorists are in charge, they are running away. Just like Mazi Simon Ekpa, the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic of Nigeria, as I rightly said, that these people does not go looking for those people who attack them with gun. He said it. Nigerian military does not look for those who attack them with gun. They are afraid of those people. As long as you carry gun, Nigerian military will give you your way. But the point is that they will go after the innocent. Now, let me read this news for you. Militants belonging to the Islamic State-backed faction of Boko Haram, Islamic State West African Province, ISWAP, formerly known as Jamaat al-Sunnah al-Dawa wa Jihad, have organized dawat in some villages in Bonu. Sahara reporters has gathered. Dawat is the act of inviting or calling people to embrace Islam. Remember, I told you that the people that you see them going after are not necessarily new Muslims, because you cannot call someone who is already a Muslim to embrace Muslim. To embrace Islam. No. It is those who are not Islam that you go and preach and ask them to embrace Islam. So they carry out, after they have taken over the land, these communities, and succeeded in chasing away the Nigerian presence there. Now, the next thing they do is they will subdue these people and subjugate them. Then they will put them on constant suffering, whereby they will be requesting them to pay tax before they go to farm, then treating them with giving them all manner of ill treatment. When these people get agitated, they will tell them, yes, it's because you are not a Muslim. If you want us to give you a breathing space, you have to do what? You have to convert. This is what is going on in northern Nigeria. As I am talking to you, jihad is ongoing in northern Nigeria since the last 10 years. Jihad is in top gear. People are converting to Islam by force, as usual, in the northern Nigeria. Nobody's talking about it. But it is the IPOB and agitators that they have time for. Those Christians, they buy them at will, they rape them at will, kidnap them at will, do whatever, or give them all manner of inhuman treatments at will. Nobody is there to talk for them. In fact, if you want to be safe, you must either you have your son or your daughter join this terrorist group. That is the only time you as a parents will have breathing space. So they have succeeded in eroding so many, bringing into their terrorist organization so many young women and men in those communities in the north. Now, I will read. He said, in pictures released by ISWAP, sect members were seen publicly engaging with residents of the states around Lake Chad. The images may be part of the sect's effort to counter statements by the Nigerian military that the Islamic insurgent fighters we are on a steady retreat with troops seizing a seizable territory hitherto occupied and controlled by members of the terrorist sect. I said it. Nigerian government is military is saying, oh, we are taking out those places back where the terrorists have occupied. But the truth is that it is a lie. After they made a statement, ISWAP released these pictures to counter them, to show the world that they are still in charge. In fact, they are even getting more communities, because there is nothing. Nigerian military could not attack or come there. They are the one who is going after Nigerian soldiers. Now I read, Sahara reporters gathered that during the Dawat program, the insurgents appealed to villagers to join the groups as militants and support their cause to establish an Islamic caliphate. I told you. That is their plan. This is one of the reasons that they vowed never to forgive Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Fulani people vowed that over their dead body, we don't forgive Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because it is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu who exposed these plans. While Nigerians were sleeping, while Nigerians were on merriment, while Nigerian people were deceiving themselves, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu peeped through the future to see the plans of these terrorists, and he started to expose them. Before, this plan was for the whole Nigeria. It was for the whole people that call themselves today Nigeria. But it was Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's revelation that has restricted it for the moment only to the north. Only in the north. Do you think they are not succeeding? They are succeeding very, very well. They are succeeding very well. But the only thing is that eyes are on them because of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. That is why you see all these things, the Binta Yako and all that stuff she is doing today. Because she's a Fulani. All of them are in parts, all of them are involved in this thing. They want to establish an Islamic caliphate. But one thing is that they don't understand. We don't care. It is their prerogative. Completely their problem, not us. All we ask is for a separate Biafra. Now they can have all caliphate they like. We don't care. We are not involved. As we don't want anybody to interfere on our own affairs and matters. We as well don't want them to. We don't also expect to interfere in their own matters and affairs. But the problem is that they do not want us to be free. They want to have their caliphate, Islamic caliphate, and they still want us to be part of it. That is the problem. That is where we are having all this fracas, all this disagreement. So now we read, now they assure them of good governance. You see, if you agreed to become an Muslim and give us power to rule over you, you will have good governance, better security, and basic amenities as soon as they had a new country. Of course, the group also distributed welfare packages to many households in a new recruitment drive. If you give them a son or a daughter to join the sect, the terrorists, they will deliver to you a welfare package, because already you have given them your child to become one of them, to fight alongside the terrorists, for them to have a separate caliphate state. Now it says packages said to have been distributed by ISWAP include rice, beans, millet, maize, sugar, spaghetti, and cash gifts. A 2019 report by International Crisis Group, a non-profit think tank, observed that Israel's approach to recruiting new fighters proved effective. Yes. Why would they when they have the territory for themselves, when they are in charge of security and affairs in the community? It is not going to be a problem for them to recruit. People will be begging to join. All of them are in the east. All of them are in Biafra land, looking for Biafra Liberation Army, looking for ESL, looking for another man on the street who goes to his shop to look for something to eat. That is what their military. That is why when you come to our land, there is roadblock everywhere. But it will interest you to know that in this place where we are talking about, what I'm reading for you, that is of the terrorists, there is no single roadblocks there. But come down to east, there are military checkpoints littered all over the places. Despite breaking away from the Abubakar Shekau Boko Haram faction in 2016, the population of its fighters had increased according to estimates, although its leadership has been largely ethnic Kanuri. ISWAP has recruited significantly among Lacostrian communities, notably the ethnic Buduma, many of whom are living from fishing, a group wrote. The Institute for Security Studies, ISS, has made similar observations. As part of this approach, the ideological aspect of the crisis must be dealt with. The ability of the group to recruit is one of the biggest reasons for its expansion. And so, a deeper understanding of its recruitment patterns and operating mechanism is crucial. ISS senior researcher Ramadi Halati warned in 2019. Often, ISWAP explores gaps in government by trying to prove that it can provide essential services in areas under its control. So this is happening in the north, and nobody has problem with it. Everybody, all eyes on Biafra. Yes, all eyes on IPOB, all eyes on the freedom fighters. But it breaks my imagination that a Yariba president of the Zoological Republic, Tinubu, has once again displayed that hatred for Ndibo and for Biafrans at large. And the problem is that the hatred they have for Ndibo and Biafrans will be their undoing. It will be their downfall. because it is not going to make us to step back a bit. For us, it is forward ever, backward ever. As long as this agitation for Biafra is concerned, we are not going to look back. But my pain is that so many people today in our land has been corrupted. So many of them believe. I was somewhere yesterday when we were talking about this interview that Cubana chief priest granted and what he said. And we were made to understand that Cubana chief priest could not travel to his village for the past 4 years because there are criminals everywhere in his village. I don't know where he came from. I don't know his village. Wherever he came from, we are meant to understand that there are criminals in his village. So for the past 4 years, he could not go back to his village. We also learned that the activities of those said criminals could not allow the community to go to farm. So Cubana chief priest is the one who is, through his what's it called, charity organization, feed many families. Now, when we push further, we're meant to understand that the criminals they are referring to are indeed the freedom fighters. Because initially, they were trying to make it look as if it is not. But when we push further to act, but what is the connection with freedom fighting or freedom fighters with those so-called criminals? He now had to come out to say, oh, it is the freedom fighters. Some of them are those men controlled by someone who are committing the kidnap. Then you ask him. Now the question you should ask that guy, you said that for the past 4 years that this guy could not go to his village. That means there's been an existential problem going on in his village. Now let us do one or two. Simon Eber just came around on board 3 years ago after the kidnapping of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So who has been causing the criminality before then? That is when if we have gotten to that estate, he would have told that no, it was the ESN who has been championing it. So immediately that Simon Eber took over, now ESN now withdraw. Now it is now the Biafra Liberation Army that Simon Eber is controlling that is causing the insecurity. These are the propaganda of these people. This is what Cubana chief priests want you to believe. This is what some of them, most of them, that is telling you that it is criminal. You know what? When they see the Biafra Liberation Army or ESN with their guns trying to defend the land, they want you to believe that it is criminality, that they are into criminality. They don't want you to know or to believe that they are indeed doing the needful to protect you. You heard Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said that ESN and IPOB are here to protect you. But what these people want you to believe is that, oh, because ESN or Biafra Liberation Army is there, they are the ones causing the criminality. But when you put one or two together, you see that these people are talking just for talking's sake. You call someone Eber for something that has been there. Insecurity has been there. Even before Simon Eber joined Biafran struggle. Simon Eber joined Biafran struggle in 2019. Before then, the insecurity has been there. The kidnapping has been there. So why are you now telling somebody who has his mind, his brain intact, that Simon Ekpa is the one causing insecurity. And I want them to know that the agitators, the freedom fighters, are not the problem, but the solution. The reason why you still walk around, you go to Enugu, you watch Enyimba, is because of these freedom fighters. The reason why you can still go to your village is because of the freedom fighters, the activities of the freedom fighters. If you are from the north, you will not do it. If you are from Borolu, you can't go to your village. Go and look for Borolu people, those rich men in Borolu. Over 10 years, 15 years, they have not set their foot on their village. In fact, their villages are no more. But you can still take that your car, that your flashy car, to village and spend your time. But they want you to believe that the activities of the freedom fighters are criminality. Now, in every turn, they keep buying and neutralizing the freedom fighters. If the freedom fighters retaliated in defense, self-defense, you will hear that they are criminals. That is why I said, whatever that happened in Aba, I am not in support of any kind of bloodletting or shedding of innocent blood or going out. But you see what happened in Aba? I am not going to condemn it. I will never condemn it. I take the same stand that Onyenduma Azanekanu will take in this situation. Keep quiet. I will not say anything. I will not say in favor or against. Whatever you sow, you reap. Nobody has a monopoly for violence. Whatever you give, whatever you sow, you reap. He who buy by the sword shall die by the sword. You cannot be going after the innocent people and you expect karma not to hit you. Karma must hit you. What you see happened in Aba was pure karma. Remember, it happens on the 30th May. What are they doing? Who are they blocking? Who are they waiting for in that roadblock when everybody is at home? Who are they waiting for in that roadblock? Everybody is at home, sitting at home. Who are they waiting for there? That should be the question. They are there to dare the freedom fighters, to dare IPOB, to dare those who said today we want to have it as our remembrance. For them to defy, they will just came there to defy that order. And some people are busy sharing, talking nonsense. Now all of them are blind to the one that happened in Kaduna. All of them are blind to the one that happened in Zamfara. All of them are blind for the one that happened in all the northern region. None of them is sharing it today. But if it happened in East, you see them sharing. Every Dick and Harry that pick up his pen to write nonsense, you see them sharing it. I just want you to know that what we are doing is not criminality. What we are doing is not wrong. We are IPOB and we are freedom fighters. We are only fighting for our survival and for the survival of our generation and generation we shall leave behind. Nothing more, nothing less. We can never fold our hands to watch what is happening in the northern Nigeria to start happening in our land. We said no to it. We stand by that. We shall continue to say no to this. Now, this evening, a news broke about our leader, Oyeduma Nnamdi Kanu. And when this news broke, I don't know what to say, but I will be reading it. The news broke. It's Daily Post. Daily Post released this news. It said Nnamdi Kanu court to jail DSSDG Bichi for disobeying orders. Remember, I told you that it is not going to be possible because BG, or whatever his name is not alone. BG is working on instruction. BG understood that it is criminal to disobey the court order. BG understood his right and his line not to cross. But in this regard of Mazi Kanu, BG is not working alone. BG is taking order from Oga at the top. Who is Oga at the top? Tinubu. Now, I am not saying that I'm not in support of this move. Yeah, I'm perfectly okay by it. In fact, it is a good one because in this fight, you have to put in every weapon in your arsenal. You have to do everything you could to see. You have to exhaust everything. You have to throw in everything. And that is exactly what Mazi Kanu's Lego team are doing, and we are in support. And we continue to encourage them to keeping on. So today, this news broke. Now, I will read it for you. The leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, has urged the Abuja High Court to jail the Director General of the Department of State Services, DSS, Yusuf Bichi, over his refusal to adhere to the court's ruling regarding his visitation. On May 20, 2024, the Abuja High Court granted an order modifying the conditions of visitation to Kanu in the DSS detention facility. The court had ruled that an order is hereby made varying the conditions of visitations to him in custody to 3 days a week. He is to be given a safe and clean room to be made available to the defendant at the present facility to prepare for his defense with his team of counsel not exceeding 5 in number. That they should be allowed such a facility that is required for the preparation of his defense and be allowed to take notes. However, in a notice to the Abuja Federal High Court, Kanu lead counsel, Aloy Ejimako, said the DSS Director General had refused to comply with the orders of the court. Ejimako filed the court a notice tagged "Notice to show cause why an order of committal should not be made," and forwarded to Daily Post on Monday. The notice, which had Bichi and the federal government as respondents, said despite serving DSS boss had refused to obey the orders despite being served. According to the notice, take notice that the defendant we, on the day of 2024, at the hour of 9 o'clock in the forenoon, apply to this court for an order for your committal to prison for having disobeyed the order of this court made on the 20th day of May 2024, which stated in pertinent parts as follows: that, however, an order is hereby made varying the condition of visitation to him in custody to 3 days a week. He is to be given a safe and clean room to be made available to the defendant at the present facility to prepare for his defense with his team of counsel not exceeding 5 in number. That they should be allowed such a facility that is required for the preparation of his defense and be allowed to take notes, which order you disobeyed, as follows: on every visitation made to the applicant at the State Security Services Detention Facility Headquarters, Abuja, after the issuance and service of the said order and Form 48 thereof, you have not allowed applicant's counsel to go in with writing materials to take note of their discussions between the applicants between the application can't and lead and his lawyers, I don't understand, relating to the preparation of the applicants for his defense. You have not complied with the 3 days per week visitation to the applicant as was ordered by the court. You have not provided a safe and clean room to the applicant at the present facility to prepare for his defense with his team of counsel. You have not allowed such facility that is required for the preparation of the applicant's defense, which facility you have disallowed on every visitation since the said order was entered, as set out below. Interdiction, stricture, perusal, and photocopying of legal documents relating to the trial preparation of the applicant, refusing certain visitors to the applicant, including those that are applicant's potential witnesses and or who possesses information critical to the adequate preparation of the applicant's defense to the criminal charges pending against him, particularly as it pertains to cross-examination of prosecution witnesses and authentic impeachment of prosecution's documentary evidence. By not retracing your steps after you were, on the 30th day of May 2024, served with a Form 48 notice of consequences of this evidence to court, and take further notice that you are hereby required to attend the court on the first mentioned day to show cause why an order for your committal should not be made. This was served to DG of DSS Bichi by Mazinam the Kano legal team. So he will have his date in court. Though we are not hoping on anything to come out of this, but it is the right step towards right direction. So now, also there was news breaking about our leader today. This news was from Sahara reporters. And this news also broke today, June 10, 2024. It says IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu appeals Nigerian High Court ruling, which denied reinstatement of his bail. If you recall very well, you'll know that Supreme Court of Nigeria ruled that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's bail ought not to be revoked, and he was sent back to the trial court to correct that mistake, because the Supreme Court believed that the revocation of that bail was in error, because the trial judge was deceived and lied to by the Nigerian prosecution team. So they now said, okay, go back to this judge. He needs to correct that mistake. Up until today, the court is unwilling to reinstate the bail of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, but they were okay with putting him through trial. So they have chosen the ones to obey and the ones not to obey. Now, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu legal team, after a series of trying to persuade the court to restore that bail, after it failed, they have taken it up to appeal court. So that is what we are hearing today. Now we're reading it to you. Now I go. However, the courts in a delivered on May 20th refused to grant Kanu's application, though the Supreme Court had in a ruling held that the IPOB leader did not jump his bail as claimed by the trial court. The leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, has filed a notice of appeal against the judgment by Justice Binta Nyako of the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja, which failed to grant applications seeking restoration of his revoked bail and transfer remand him to a safe place of custody. Kanu, who has been in detention at the Department of State Services DSS custody in Abuja since June 2021, had filed an application seeking restoration of bail revoked by the court after he escaped from an attack in his home in Abuja by security personnel. However, the court in a delivered on May 20 refused to grant Kanu's application, though the Supreme Court had in a ruling held that the IPOB leader did not jump his bail as claimed by the trial court. In the notice of appeal filed through his legal team, led by Barrister Aloy Ejimako, Kanu said that the trial court erred when it misdirected itself on the facts and otherwise failed to properly evaluate the evidence when it wrongly held that on the issue of the transfer of the defendant applicant to another place of custody, I have found and held that the present place of custody of the defendant is a proper place of custody, and which decision led to a miscarriage of justice against him. Carlo said there is a world of difference between what is by law and facts considered a safe or proper place of custody, such that what is done by the respondent to the appellant and his lawyers at the same current place of custody of the appellant amounts to exposing the appellant to a serious constitutional disadvantage as regards to his right to fair trial in his ongoing trial. He further argued that a trial court erred in law when it refused to grant his application, upon which he described as the implicit finding that the room at the said DSS detention facility whereupon he meets with his counsel is not a safe and clean room for him to prepare for his defense. The IPOB leader also said the trial court erred in law when the court failed to exercise its discretion in favor of the application of the appellant, and in that respect occasioned miscarriage of justice. The notice of appeal further said the trial court misdirected itself on the fact when the court held that having found that the defendant jumped bail and had forfeited the surety's bond and discharged them from the bond, and the sureties having gone on appeal on the same issues, I cannot take any step until the outcome of the appeal. This is how they deceive themselves. Binta Nyako is waiting for the appeal, the surety, those who surety man can get applied on appeal court. She's waiting for the result, the rulings to come out before she can now obey the judgment of the Supreme Court. Binta Nyako is willing to obey the rulings of a smaller court. This is what is happening in Nigeria. Binta Nyako is not willing to obey the rulings of the Supreme Court, but is willing to obey the imaginary ruling of the appeal court, lower in rank. This is one of the this Mazan Khan is saying that how could it's a misdirection entirely by the trial court for making such statement after the higher court ruled that he did not jump bail, that his jail bail was revoked in error. Now you are saying that immediately you revoke the bail bonds, the sureties now went to court. You are going to wait until the outcome of that appeal before you can now obey what the Supreme Court said. Okay. Kanu's legal team in the notice stressed that amongst other issues, the issue of bail jumping and revocation of his bail were considered by the Supreme Court in the case marked SC/CR/1361/2022 between Federal Republic of Nigeria versus Nnamdi Kanu, where the Apex Court ruled the respondent was on bail and therefore in custody of the law when his home was illegally invaded by heavily armed military officers of the appellant, causing him to flee from his home and the country to secure his life. In the face of such an attack, it was reasonable for him to flee to secure his life and physical well-being. This is the ruling of the Supreme Court of Nigeria on revocation of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's bail. But Binta Nyako refused, still insisting that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu jumps his bail. That is what any normal and reasonable human being would do in that circumstance to preserve his life and physical well-being. It is glaring that the consequences of that attack were intended or foreseeable. This is not arguable. The appellant's officials knew that the invasion of the respondent's home caused him to run away to secure his life and physical well-being. Yet, during proceedings in the pending criminal case against him, they applied that his bail be revoked, that a warrant for his arrest be issued, and his sureties forfeit their respective bail bonds, and that his trial in his absence be ordered because he have jumped bail and is not in court to stand trial. But they knew that their illegal actions made it impossible for the respondent to be in court for trial. What I'm reading for you is the rulings of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. That is exactly what I'm reading for you. The Supreme Court of Nigeria outlined it perfectly, very perfectly. But the problem is that at the end of the day, they did not have what it takes to make a pronouncement on that issue. They became scared. Hence, they sent Mazi Nnamdi Kanu to go and stand trial. But this judgment here is enough for the total freedom of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. But the question you should ask yourself is, after giving this judgment, what is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu still doing in DSS dungeon? This is the question that you and any sane person find difficult to answer. And let me also remind you what this one said in regards to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's detention.
What you must know is that Nnamdi Kanu is being held hostage on behalf of the famed unity of Nigeria. That's what it's all about. It's as simple as that. If you mention his name in certain circles, they don't want to hear it because they feel like he threatens the real estate called Nigeria. And his Igbo makes it worse because Nigeria's DNA hates the Igbo for attempting, in the 60s and, towards the end of the 70s, to leave a country they said is no longer favorable to their existence. But I keep saying, and I will repeat here again, is there any Nigerian out there in their majority who has not mentally seceded from Nigeria? Not many. That's why people are living in droves. Each time you get on a plane leaving this country is full, each time it's coming back, probably full too, but it is those who are coming back to pack their things that are coming back. That's the way I describe it. But the truth is that Nnamdi Kanu is being held hostage. He was abducted from Kenya, extraordinary rendition. The fact that he's kidnapped from Kenya could not be explained shows that any judicial pronouncement or processes after that is null and void. You cannot go and kidnap somebody and bring them before a court. And the courts have made it very clear, even up to the Supreme Court, that he did not jump bail. It was the military that went to his house to kill people, and then he escaped. And now you have brought him back. You ought to respect and restore his bail. That's what I told his lawyers. Why are you applying for bail again? Because the Supreme Court made all the pronouncements except releasing him. And I think it was because they were afraid. And that's why I said he's a hostage to this country. And like you rightly said, there are other people who have made even more egregious pronouncements and fought and carried arms in this country. And you have not treated them the same way because they're not Nnamdi Kanu's, their name don't sound East. And I'm not here to fetish being able. But the reality is that they are not treated fairly. And Nnamdi Kanu is part of the reason why that is clear to everybody.
Right.
And by the way, I must also reveal here that there are some Igbo elites who are behind this. Whenever there's a crime of conspiracy against freedom fighters, there are people inside and outside who are working together.
You heard that very well? That was Shore's take on this issue of continuous incarceration of Mazen Khan. And everybody sees this matter and understands this matter this way, except Binta Nyako and his court. Binta Nyako is the only one that sees this case, this jumping of the bail thing from a different angle. Binta Nyako is the only one who understood the rulings of Supreme Court of Nigeria differently. But I will continue reading what Mazen Khan wrote in his appeal. Now, I read. The respondent did not intentionally and knowingly fail to appear in court. It was therefore wrong and malicious for the appellant that had caused the respondent to flee from his home and country to secure his life, and that had therefore caused his unavoidable absence from court to inform and therefore deceive the trial court that the respondent had jumped bail. Well, in this way, in this deceit aspect, I totally disagree with Supreme Court. Binta Nyako was not deceived. Binta Nyako was not deceived anything. Binta Nyako understood perfectly what she was doing. She knew, and it was also in her table with video evidence that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu's home was invaded. Binta Nyako knew that over 28 men were died in Mazen Kanu's home. Binta Nyako is all aware. So don't say, I have a problem when you try to say she was deceived. She was not. She is all right. She knew. She understood. And she knew what she was doing. It is a conspiracy. It is a total conspiracy. It is not because it is only because Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, just like you so rightly said, because he is Igbo. Because Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is Igbo, there is no other crime he committed that nobody else has committed in Nigeria. There is nothing that Mazen can have said that you will not see people from other parts of the country who have said worse. But like I read before, when it comes to them, they need to apply patience. Then patience will become a virtue. But when it comes to Ndi Igbo, you have to act immediately. Just like they hurriedly declared war against Biafra in 1967. Just like they hurriedly by our people in the north in retaliation for coup that has nothing to do with us, but only the military. When it comes to Ndi Igbo, when it comes to Biafrans, it is going, the reactions and retaliation must be spontaneous. When it comes to other part of the country, it must be patient. Patient. That is when you hear this word. A patient is virtue. It's a virtue. It's a virtue. Take it easy. Take it easy. There's no other crime committed by any Biafran except that he or she is Igbo or is seen as Igbo. Biafran cause is seen as Igbo cause. That is why they are doing every evil they are doing today. If it were being if Biafra is being championed by other ethnic group in Nigeria, this thing you see, it will not be handling. It will not be handled this way. But I will continue reading. Now I continue. On the basis of this deception, the appellant applied to the trial court for an order revoking the respondent's bail, forfeiting the amount securing the bail bond of his sureties, and order issuing a bench warrant for his arrest. It is glaring from the record of proceedings. In the trial courts that granted the said orders prayed by the appellant with knowledge of the fact that the respondent's absence from court was caused by the invasion of his home by army officers of the appellant. Therefore, the trial court knew that the said extrajudicial and illegal actions of the appellant made it impossible for the respondent to be in court for his trial, that the respondent's absence is not intentional or deliberate absence, and that the respondent is not running away from prosecution or running to avoid prosecution. In the light of the foregoing, the trial court acted unfairly and without rationale and legally justifiable basis by its decisions revoking the respondent's bail, forfeiting the amount securing the bail bond of his sureties, and its order suing a bench warrant for his arrest. The orders were made on the basis of the false assumption that the respondent jumped bail. Kalu therefore said he is seeking an order allowing this appeal and setting aside the decision of the trial court made on the 20th day of May 2024. An order reinstating the bail of the appellant on same terms as earlier granted, or an order reinstating reinstating the appellant's bail on a new terms and condition. So he is asking that the bail, Mazen Khan is being flexible in this whole thing. He is now asking the court to either restore his bail on the same condition as it were, or that they restore his bail with a new condition. That whichever way he is going to accept, but all he is asking is that his bail be restored. Well, his decision. An order remanding the appellant to an alternative place of custody or home detention, house arrest, that can accord the appellant the atmosphere to have a fair trial. Any order the Honorable Court of Appeal deems fit to make in the circumstances of this appeal. This is the appeal that Mazen Kano put up for to appeal court. So this is how it is documented, packaged, and appealed. And we have not heard it. It's just new. We have not heard anything. I think they just made this appeal the other day. So the appeal court has not accepted. They have not. If they accept, when they accept it, now they have to give a date of hearing and other stuff. So we are waiting to see how it will go. But I know that appeal courts reading or going through these things, this ruling of the Supreme Court will not say otherwise. So we are crossing our fingers, believing that all these fireworks, one of them is going to yield a very important fruit. So I don't know if Mazen Khan is still appearing again in court, but as time goes on, we're going to know if he's going to appear. Appear again on the set dates. But I don't know what he's even appearing for, because Binta Yako doesn't want to do anything but to start the trial. And Mazen Khan is not really, under the circumstances, to go to face trial. So we are now stuck in the middle. And we are waiting to hear the new development in a few days to come. So that is it. So I am of the opinion that Mazen Khan's initial bail must be restored. That is my own take. But like they said, he who wears his shoes knows where it pinches. Mazen Khan is caught in the middle. So he's the one who at the receiving end. So whichever decision he takes, it is our duty, it is my obligation to support him. So I support him in every decision or he decides to take. Whatever thing he decides to do, we support him, we give him support. That is why we are here. That is why we shall continue to call on Binta Nyako to do the right thing. I know that she is not alone. I know that Binta Nyako is dancing to the tune playing for him by a strange person. But like I always assure them, when I assure her, whenever I come on this platform, I told Binta Nyako, you can never win this battle. Binta Nyako, you see this game, you see this trial, you see this thing, you can never win it. Many of your likes has come and gone. They have tried. They couldn't. It's a promise you can never win. Truth must come victorious. And at the end of the day, Binta Nyako, you would have exhausted all your tricks and truth will prevail. Mazen Khan did not jump bail. And if Mazen Khan did not jump bail, there is no stand there is no reason revoking his bail. We had an agreement. Unless the agreement is broken. On these circumstances, the agreement has not been broken. So why are you now turning your back on the initial agreement you signed by yourself? You tendered your signature on this agreement that you will never go back on this agreement as long as I did not go back. I have not gone back. You rather decided to go back. It is called injustice. And in this, as it stands today, we are going to fight to the end with everything within us. Bintayako, I have showed you, you can never win this battle. Mazen Kanu did not jump bail. Every other court has accepted, and they are at peace with it. Only Bintayako. And you are telling me that something is not wrong. Something is actually and definitely wrong with Bintayako. If Bintayako can stand on opposite side, something is definitely wrong. Bintayako, all the judgments are in favor of Onyendu, Mazin and the Khan, except your own. Every of them are agreed, believe, and accepted the fact that Nigerian government is in the wrong. That Mazin Kanu was not guilty in this regard. He was only running to save his life. We have not gotten to the point where we talk about how you brought him back. You have to explain to us, to the court, to the world, how Mazin Kanu was brought back to Nigeria. Because amongst everything we are doing today, Nigerian constitution must be applied in everything. Nigerian constitution must be followed. That is the truth of the matter. You cannot rule or judge or try Mazin Kanu outside the constitution of Nigeria. The truth is that Nigerian constitution must be side by side with the judgment. And Nigerian constitution must be applied in this judgment. So, first, after going through this hurdle of restoring Mazin Kanu bail, you have to also hear and also told us that Mazin Kanu, kidnapping of Mazin Kanu and extraordinary rendition of Mazin Kanu is not legal. Let me remind Bintayako also.
AIG, there are not a few who believe that the pace at which the Interpol International and Interpol Nigeria are working is quite interesting. They point to the fact that Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the proscribed group, IPOB, it didn't take long for them to grab him from the same Kenya and get him down to Nigeria, and he's facing justice now. That's why is this like a case of we are following process, diplomatic channels, etc., etc.
Believe you me, I want to tell you I don't know what you are talking about. All I know.
You seems not to know exactly what we are talking about here.
No. You are bringing an issue that Interpol is not aware of. You know, let me define the role of Interpol so that you can understand. Interpol is an international police organization that assists law enforcement agencies within the 196 countries to look for a fugitive that runs or is hiding. And if you look at all the other fugitives that are brought to face justice in Nigeria, they have the link, those who are involved with Interpol. So I don't know I don't want to talk about issue of Kanu, who brought him back to Nigeria. I'm not aware. how he was brought back to Nigeria or how he came into Nigeria, Interpol is not aware. We stated this long time ago, and we made it categorically clear. So don't, it's not a question. There are what we call police-to-police relationship, international police cooperation. Another police, it does not necessarily bring Interpol. If one police and another exchange a suspect is running from them, they can have an international police cooperation that out of the scope of Interpol. But however, if a notice is given to an individual, like blue notices, when the inmates in Kuje prison escaped, we did a biometric capture of those suspects, and we shared it with international communities. We shared it with our law enforcement agencies. Many of them were re-apprehended because we have their biometrics. Now, in the issue of red notice, where a red notice is issued under the federal court that issued that notice of arrest, that is warrant of arrest for such international. It will go to the Interpol, we'll process it, we'll look at it, we'll look at the charges, and then we'll issue a red notice. On that red notice, we bring back the culprit to face justice because all the 196 countries will be looking for that individual.
We'd sincerely like to thank you, retired Assistant Inspector General of Police, Garba Umar, who is currently the Vice President of Interpol Africa region. Thank you, sir, for coming on the News Hour.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. So, I don't know if Bintayako have ever come across this video. And if she has come across it, this video is going to play a very significant role in the trial, because Nigerian terrorist government under Muhammad Buhari made us to understand that the Nnamdi Kanu was arrested through the Interpol and also in a foreign land. And we also aware that it is only that Nigerian police, local police, does not have any right to intercept any suspects. On the foreign land, they only have jurisdiction within their territory. Outside the territory, they need the assistance of the Interpol. And any operation that is done outside the territorial integrity of Nigeria without the Interpol is considered illegal. That is all. It's considered criminal. It's considered illegal. That is what we are here looking forward to on the day of the trial, when it will finally commence. This is a very mighty hurdle Nigerian government and prosecution need to cross before the trial could commence properly. But as it stands now, we are not talking about that. What we're talking about now is Nnamdi Kanu's rights has to be protected. Nnamdi Kanu's rights to fair hearing have to be protected. And Nnamdi Kanu cannot, under these current circumstances, talk about standing trial. It is not done, has never done anywhere, and is not going to start today, not on Nnamdi Kanu. That is the only thing we faced with now. So after we get it done with, and Nnamdi Kanu his bail is restored, and he is on a very perfect place to stand trial. Now we cannot talk about how he came back to Nigeria. That is, in fact, it is going to be a very interesting one, and we cannot wait for it to start. So that is it. Before I go this evening, I want to show you this video. Let me show you this video. This video has been trending. I was supposed to show this way before, but I just came in.
He's a bastard. Put your leg! Bastard. Now, then shut your eyeball. Shut your eyeball. Shut your eyeball. Shut your eyeball. Are you mad? Shut your eyeball. Shut your jaw. Shut your jaw.
Let me play it.
He's a bastard. Put your leg! Bastard. Now, then shut your eyeball. Shut your eyeball. Shut your eyeball. Are you mad? Shut your eyeball. Shut your jaw. Shut your jaw.
This you saw is happening in our land. You can look at that guy. Look at that guy. Look at him very well. And tell me, what is his crime? His crime is that he is a Biafran. He did not challenge any of those guys you see slapping him. He did not shoot any of them. The only crime he committed is that he was there and they came and saw him. And if you think that it ends there, well, you may be mistaken. Nobody knows after torturing and slapping him that way if they end up buying the guy. But this is what is going on in our land on a daily basis. And those people, if tomorrow comes and if this guy survived and he vowed for retaliation, and tomorrow he is on a mission to retaliate on the same people that did this to him, you will see some of these people, they will be writing criminal on a mission to set our land ablaze, criminal, enemies of Biafra, false flag, This is what we will hear. But today, none of them is here to condemn or to demand that these soldiers be brought to book. None of them is asking the crime of this young boy. If it were to be your child, what will be going on in your mind? If your child you gave birth to suffered to nurture, and he has grown and matured to this age, about 15 years, because this guy may be around 15, 16 years, and another person, because he is putting on uniform, come grab him, strip him naked, and be slapping him this way, humiliating. Do you know that the drum, his eardrum, as it stands, is broken? Because he could not be able to put up any defense at all. He was only told to position it very well. The reason why he looked at that guy, that military man, he is experienced. So he knew the position that guy would be when he slapped him, his eardrum will tear apart. And then he's telling him to bend his head, position it very well, so that when he delivers that slap, the eardrum will pieces. That guy, if he survived, he's going straight to hospital and he must undergo surgery for him to hear again. He did not shoot at anybody. He did not insult the soldiers. He was not caught doing something wrong. The only wrong he committed was that the military came and met him in his house or in his father's compound. And he was paying the price today. I want people to see and understand the reason nobody should make any comment when these men are paying prices for their wickedness against the people of Biafra. We are not going to run away from our land. That land is our land, inherited. That land our forefathers fought under their blood and sweat to preserve it for us. And we are not going to hand it over to strangers. We will also fight with our sweat and blood to preserve it for our children. That is how it will be to eternity. So if anybody think that by doing these things is going to make us to draw back and start defending our land and our lives, that person should go to the psychiatric hospital. His head, his brain need to be examined. We are not shifting ground. Biafra is the destination. Biafra for us means the world. And if you know, you will understand that the same spirit that existed in the life of our fathers, that gave them the courage to defend our land, is the same spirit that is in us today. And we are not going to disappoint our fathers. We are not going to disappoint our land. We are not going to disappoint our future generation. Whenever our future generation talks about us, they will talk about us with sense of pride. They will talk about us as people who gave everything. So I think I have delivered a message to you this evening. And like I always say, this platform, this channel, this page, this handle, where you're viewing us from this IPOB Western Cape Media TV, is not like any other channels. It's not like any other platform. In this platform, we bring to you the truth and nothing but the truth. We bring it to you the way it is. We go deep into researching and trying our best to make you to remain current in development circumstances that is surrendering this struggle. We try our best to expose everything exposable. We try our best to make you understand that there is still hope in this struggle. All hope have not lost. There are still men here who are still doing the right thing. There are still men who are still fighting for the right cause. There are still true believers of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. There are still true followers of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and they are here in this part of the world, in IPOB Western Cape. We are fighting in the same level we are when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was here. IPOB Western Cape have never shifted ground. IPOB Western Cape has never doubted the determination of Onyendu. IPOB Western Cape never faulted Onyendu for once. IPOB Western Cape never questioned Onyendu's decision for once. We stand by the decision of Onyendu, his decision to change his legal team. We stand by it. We stand by all the decisions he has been taking since he was kidnapped, and we shall continue to stand. That is the IPOB Western Cape, you know. That is why we are here speaking to you. We are not here to make you feel good. If you think you are here to make you feel good, you are wrong. I told you, here we have no permanent friends. We have no permanent enemies. Today you may be here watching us and agreeing with everything I said. Tomorrow you may not. Tomorrow you may be attacking us. Tomorrow you may become our friends. Today you are our friends, tomorrow you become our enemy. Does not remove anything. It does not add anything. We stand on the truth and we shall continue to stand on the truth. That is the reason this IPOB Western Cape Media TV was created in the first place. We are not here to represent any individual. We said it in our slogan, in our creed. We are not here to represent any individual, but to represent and to defend our fatherland, Biafra. That is our reason being here. We defend anything that has to do with Biafra. We defend every freedom fighter who is fighting for the freedom of Biafra. We support and we stand by them. Martin Amdekano said, anything you can do for Biafra to be restored, do it. This is a command. Anything you know you can do for Biafra to be restored, go ahead and do it. This is the word of Martin Amdekano, and on this word we stand until he said otherwise. Well, I said if in the course of our program, you can call us and make contribution. Nobody has called, and we come to end of this program this evening. I continue to encourage you to muster the courage to call in and make contribution. This is our own. It belongs to us. On a request, you can be brought in. If you want to appear in this program live, you can contact me, and I will make a date, and you come and be in and speak to Biafrans. If you have something to say, this is our own. It does not belong to me. It belongs to us. So anything you know you can do to support, please do it. We need people to identify with this problem. So we have come to the end of this program this evening, and I thank you, and I appreciate your time. Like I said always, we can never take anything for granted. Your presence is felt. Your sacrifices is completely appreciated, and it is also felt in this platform. It is not easy for you to sit here with your data for the past 3 hours listening to us. So we appreciate you. We are not taking it for granted. But I want to appeal to you, please, and please again, if you have not shared this program, what are you waiting for? We have over, for what I can see in the screen, we have over 30 people watching. I don't know those that are, they hide Facebook in particular. Hide, or they may, in fact, in a single program, Facebook hide everybody. You only see that you have people watching on Facebook when the program ended. When this program ends, that is when you see that you have over 30 or 40 people watching on Facebook. But as you are live, Facebook will hide all of them. You can't even see one person watching on Facebook. But the Twitter is kind enough to show you, oh, people are listening to you. So we are still, though they had some because the number I'm seeing on screen, when I go to Twitter, it may not be up to, it will be shortened by a few people, but not as serious as Facebook. So we are still happy that Twitter is helping us to, so please share this program. This is the only way that our people may, because the more people we have, the more helpless Facebook becomes. They have no other option than to free us. The only thing that Facebook wants us to do is start boosting our program. Immediately we start boosting our program, when we are live like this, you see like 500 people, 1,000 people watching, because we have started boosting. So Facebook is no more free. But we must continue. When it gets to that level, we do it. But now, let us continue sharing our programs, telling people about this page, and also setting our notifications so that you know when we are live. Thank you so much, dear friends, lovers of freedom, for watching this program this evening. And I thank you so much. And I pray that the next time when we come here, you will be alive also to join us. From me, from here, it is good night.